Hey guys, my name is Larry and welcome to Military Stories. So today I'm going to change it up a little bit. I'm going to go over basic pistol fundamentals, basic pistol overview for new shooters, people that just got a pistol, want to learn how to use one, or if you've used one before and you just want an overview or maybe some additional tips you didn't know before. Normally on this channel I do combat stories from my career or others, but I also do tips, advice, and so that's what we're doing today. Next week I'll probably do one on basic training, tips for basic training for those that might be going soon. So this week we're focusing on pistol. One thing I wanted to show was this safe I got. This is not an endorsement, or I'm not being paid for this, but I believe everybody should have a pistol in their house, probably next to their bed. One thing I got that I think is pretty cool is this right here. It's got a fingerprint and a code. It's a pretty unique safe that I think is pretty cool. So you're gonna use my fingerprint, open it up, and I got my pistol here and a couple magazines in there. So I just wanted to show that. And today I'll be working with my pistol. It's a Glock 17 5th generation. And I know there's probably some gun nuts out there that would disagree with this pistol. I know people like SIGs, they like, other type of firearms. This is what I used in the military, and when I was contracting, it was a Glock. So I just wanted to use what I was familiar with and, stick with that. I think it's a good, reliable gun, good brand. A lot of people I know like SIGs, but I just got what I was comfortable with. I'm not a big gun nut. I just wanted one for the home, and I think Glock is a pretty reliable weapon. So little disclaimer first. I'm not an instructor. I'm not a gun expert. This is just sharing some of my advice from my experiences training, and I had to learn to shoot pretty well with a pistol for contracting, so I'm just sharing some of the things I've learned. And for people that have never owned a firearm, or like I said, just want a quick overview of the pistol once again. So like I said, I think everybody should have a pistol in their house for security. If you have an intruder in your house, you're going to want to have the upper hand. So if someone breaks in your house and you don't have a weapon, you could be victim to, robbery, whatever. So at least if you have a pistol, you can defend yourself.
Sit down, boys.
I always tell people my suggestion is to not go clearing your house trying to fight unless you're trained at that. Find out where your family is, get them to a back room, make sure they're behind you, have someone call 911, and you cordon off at the end of the house and have an vantage point looking down the hallway. And so if the intruder, you can yell out, "Hey, I have a gun, call 911, get out of my house." You don't want to fight. You don't want to engage somebody. And so have them, gather your family, have them behind you or hidden somewhere, and then you in a standoff position, where you can see clearly down a hallway of a house that it should be dark, it should be nighttime, and this person is looking through your house. And so put yourself in a secure location and have your family behind you, call 911 and stand off, because I've seen a lot of stuff, people are trying to learn room clearing and all that stuff, which is great, but in a realistic life situation, just the average Joe on the street, you don't want to be clearing your house, with your family with you. CQB is usually by multiple people, so you don't want to be clearing your house by yourself. So first of all, first thing you want to go over is PPE. So you want to make sure that you have some kind of eye protection. If it's daytime, you know, maybe some sunglasses, or otherwise clear eye protection. You want to protect your eyes. And the reason for that is when you're shooting, you know, you're going to have a shell casing eject from the weapon, and, you know, that could bounce off a wall if you're at a range, or that could, you know, come back to your face. And so that's to protect yourself from, you know, shell casings or whatever else. You know, if you're shooting in a house and someone's engaging you, well, in that scenario, you probably wouldn't be able to get eye protection. But yeah, it's just protection while you're shooting. Eye protection when you can. When you're going to the range, practicing, whatever, use eye protection. Again, this is for if you're going to the range or practicing. If someone enters your home, you know, you're not going to have time to put all this stuff on. Another thing, earring protection. Protect your hearing. You know, one shot or two is not going to ruin your eardrums. You're going to get a ringing noise for maybe a day or two in your ears, or just a couple hours, but protect your hearing, you know. So I like the big earmuffs because those usually are suppress a lot more sound. But you know, you could also use foam. You know, the little yellow ones. You just roll them in your fingers, put them in your ear, and some people double stack. They'll put the foam and this in their ears to really block their hearing. And when you're shooting at the range, if you're shooting 100 rounds, you know, that's a lot of very loud decibels repetitive on your ears. So make sure you take care of your ears. That's about the basics for PPE, or personal protective equipment. I don't really like gloves. You know, a lot of people use gloves. And sure, if you're going to be shooting thousands of rounds or loading ammo, gloves kind of help. But I like to feel the weapon, you know. When you're learning trigger pressure and you have a glove on, that's a little bit of extra layer between you and the trigger. So I don't like gloves. You want to feel the gun on your hand, you know, for shooting accuracy. You want to make sure you can feel that pressure completely. And I feel like gloves take that away a little. All right, now that we've gone over PPE, now we can get into the pistol, okay? Again, this is a very basic overview for those of you that have had, you know, weapons training. I'm not trying to sound like an expert. I'm just giving advice to newbies, people that are getting a gun and want advice from a guy that, you know, was trained to use them and have used them. And, you know, I'm not an instructor or an expert. Like I said, I'm just sharing some of my knowledge so that maybe it can make you more comfortable with it. So first thing I always tell everybody is check to see if it's loaded. You know, you're going to use one hand, your other hand, whether it's in the front or the back. You probably don't want it in the front here because you could catch your fingers, so more towards the back, behind where the chamber is. But whenever someone hands you a gun, whether it's your buddy, you're at a range, in your house, you pick it up, first thing you should always do is check, is it loaded? Is there a round in there? And you can see right away, is there brass? Do you see brass in there? Okay, it's loaded. Then you know to treat it as a loaded weapon. So anytime someone hands you a gun, double check, is it loaded? Then you want to make sure it's on safe. You know, most pistols, they're going to have a switch right here for the pistol where the safe or on fire. And this one does not. This one does not have a trigger safe. It's got a double trigger. So that extra little push right there is the safety. So you have to push that in order for it to fire. That is your safety on this gun. And that's good and bad. Some people like that, some people don't. But that is how these are made. So we've checked it. It's not loaded. If it did have a safety, I'm checking if it's unsafe. Now, how to hold it. So with your dominant hand, you know, finger always out of the trigger well, your thumb straight ahead, and then you're going to want to wrap this hand around your fingers like this, and then your thumbs go in a straight line like that. And of course, this is not 100% die-hard way to do it. That's how I was taught, and that's an accurate way. There's even a groove there. So you got your hand, thumb, wrap around, and then your other one just goes right below it like that, comfortably. And then when you're ready to, when you're ready to shoot, you put your finger in the trigger wheel, obviously. So now we're going to go over the shooting fundamentals. First thing is the stance. You want to make sure you have a square base. Imagine if somebody were to walk up to you and shove you. Are you going to fall backwards? So you want to have a square base, slightly staggered. So like your right foot slightly behind your left foot, and knees bent a little bit. You want to get your hand position and start at your chest. So for every shot, start here and your arms should come out and fully extend towards the target, arms locked out. And the reason for that is that so you're gaining control and sight picture as you're bringing it out, and you're looking at your target the whole time, and then you line up your pistol with your target as your arms are moving out. If you're coming from here, you know, you're not looking down the sights yet. If you're coming from here, so you always want to start center, come straight out, and so that way you're picking up your sight picture as quickly as possible.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed, born a rock star in the...
So when you're in a pistol, unless you have a laser or a different kind of sight, you know, most of them have a back portion right here and then a front. So what you want to do is you want to line this up evenly in here. Once that's lined evenly, then you're going to hit a steady shot. If you have that dot angled up like that, the shot's going to go high. If you have it down where you can't see the dot, the shot's going to go low, left, right. So as it's coming away from your chest, you want to get that lined up and level and then put that dot on the target. The tip of as long as you got that front, you can see that front part on the target, you're most likely going to get it in the general direction. But you want to make sure that back part is perfectly leveled up in order to, you know, hit a consistently straight shot. You know, so make sure that I know this is crazy, I'm pointing at myself, but making sure that that dot is perfectly level in there like that. Okay? The grip, we went over the grip, right hand, left hand, sight alignment. Line up your front sight to your rear sight. Same thing goes with the rifle. When you have a rifle, you have the same kind of setup when it's a stock iron sight. It's like a circle on that one with it's got a nipple on the front, and the same thing, you just want your nipple to be center. So next fundamental is breath.
Because they treat me like an outcast. I ain't gonna take that, stay back.
You want to take consistent breaths. You're not taking deep breaths, but you want to breathe in, exhale, and your shot should be on your exhale. And the reason for that is when you hold your breath and like this, that's like when you're shaky, your body is most tense. When you exhale, that is when your body is most calm and relaxed. So what you want to do is, as you're getting ready, as much as you can, I mean, if you're in a hectic situation, you're not always going to be able to do the breath perfectly, but you want to breathe in, and as your arms are extending, you're all the way out. And on the very deepest part of your exhale, that's when you should be going to squeeze the trigger. And that's going to become or give you the most consistent shot. So breath, trigger squeeze.
I ain't gonna lay back, pray that someone's gonna help me. Ain't nobody.
Trigger squeeze should be a slight pressure until the weapon fires. You should not be jerking your finger. You should, you know, it should be a slight squeeze. The shot should surprise you every time. You should be squeezing so slow so slow that when it actually does fire, it's kind of a surprise. That's how you're going to be the most relaxed state and accurate shot. And then finally is follow through.
Shot and I'll never get the throne back. I'm sick of being cautious.
You don't want to shoot and then bring your gun down right away. You don't want to shoot and let your gun go up right away. You want to have control of your weapon and exhale, slow trigger squeeze, let it surprise you, and keep locked onto the target so that if it does kick a little bit, then your next shot is going to be right in line, similar and in the same spot. So work on those fundamentals. Next, you want to work on dry firing. Before you ever go to the range and shoot your first bullet, everybody should be dry firing. When we were in the military, we did dry firing for multiple days before we ever fired a round. And this works better with a rifle than a pistol, but we used to do like dime washer drills. And what that is you would lay down on the ground and you would go through everything I just said. You would put a dime on your barrel. So if you want to practice rifle shooting, you can do this. Put a dime at the very tip of your barrel and let it balance on there. You want to squeeze and do the trigger squeeze, hear the click, and you should not drop the dime or washer off your barrel because that's how steady your trigger squeeze is. You're not jerking it. You're not anticipating the shot. That is going to be the most reliable, consistent, straight shot. So you want to practice dry firing. So make sure your weapon is clear. I'm double checking it. I'm clear. I'm going to get in my position, my stance. I'm going to pick up my target. You know, you can look at something. You can actually hang up a target. Go all the way out, line up. And then when you're ready, slowly squeeze the trigger until it clicks. Bring it back in. And then, you know, now you're going to have to cocked, charge the bolt, whatever, to be able to fire again. So you can do that as many times as you want. Bring it out, look, line up your sight, slow trigger squeeze till it's, do that until you're comfortable. If you have a holster, I have a holster here. If you have a holster, you can practice that at home. So mine's got like a little push button one. But this is a good drill you can do at home for concealed carry, or if you just want to practice from the holster. So if you're concealed carry, a lot of guys, someone else would be much better at this. I'm not an instructor, but if you have it under your shirt, you want to practice lifting your shirt and being able to pull it out, so that dry fire practicing at home. All right, I'm ready. I'm looking at the target, or, something's going on. One fluid motion, shoot. You can practice that as many times as you want. Okay? I'm not doing that right now. So the next thing I want to talk about was when you're operating with your pistol, you want to have it in your workstation. You're right in front of your face where you can see it. Barrel slightly pointed away so you're not shooting by the left or right. But you want to have your weapon in your workstation, right in front of your face. So when I'm looking, I'm right here. When I'm reloading, I'm right here. Man, I should have had an empty mag. I think I have, well, whatever. So I'm loading, I'm cocking. I'm not going to cock this live, but you're working right here, dropping your mag, changing mags. You want to have it right in front of your face so you can see what you're doing. Your face is looking straight ahead, and when you're ready to re-engage. So keep your weapon in your work area. When you're at the range, make sure it's pointed somewhat downrange. If you come here, I'm still pointed at an angle downrange. Some people, they're down here, they're over here, they're like this. When you're ready to work, you come here, you work, and you engage. Keep it right here in front of your face, slightly angled downrange. This is your workstation. One thing that you can do at the range that is a good drill to do is a 2-round reload drill. This is somebody who taught me when I went off the training. I didn't really have a lot of pistol training, but so what we did is we took a couple mags. You want to take 2 or 3, and you only put 2 rounds in them, 2 rounds at a time. So you load your weapon, put the thing in there. This is live now. As you can see, there's a round in the chamber. Okay? I'm not going to mess around with live right here. I ejected, it's clear. But you load the magazine, right? You got 2 rounds in it. You shoot 2 rounds with all the fundamentals I just said. Bang, bang. Now your mag is empty. It's going to be locked to the rear. Grab your next mag in your workstation. Grab it, load it, cock it, engage again. 1, 2, now it's empty. Grab it, drop your mag, grab the next one, load it, cock it, engage again. So I see so many people at the range. I go to the range, like a civilian range near my house or whatever, and people go there and they load up 30 or, if it's whatever, they load up 17, 18 rounds, and they go up there and they go bang, 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 bang. Cool, good job. You learned a lot from that. Cool, maybe you put most of them on a sheet of paper, but you need to practice working with the gun. It's not just about putting bullets on paper. You need to practice, what if you have a malfunction? What if you need to reload? So that's a good thing to do, is have 2-round magazine changing drills. So that way you're used to reloading. I bought this one. I would not suggest this. So this is a clear one that I bought, and I thought it'd be useful because then you can see exactly how many rounds you have without, I know, it's one thing I forgot to mention if you're new, but most magazines that come with pistols have a indicator on the back how many rounds you have left, and you can see it has a number 1 through 17 depending on how many rounds your magazine holds, so you can see how many you have left. But I saw this and I was like, oh, that'd be cool, because then you can have a better idea of how many you have left. You could just drop it, look at it, okay, cool, I got a good amount. But look how janky the rounds are seated in there. So I would not recommend this one. I've shot a couple rounds with it with no issues, but I would never trust this in my home. Another thing is make sure you have good rounds for at home. So I have magazines set up that I have in my safe for at home. If I was ever to have to use it, then I would use a good bullet, like a hollow point. that's what I want to use, has the most stopping power if there was an intruder. But when you go to the range, you know, you want to have like target or practice bullets. You're not going to want to use hollow points at the range. So let's just make sure you have good rounds, good type of munitions at your house. All right, I'm going to wrap this up. Lastly, when you're done, whenever you're done shooting for the day at the range, you just need to do like, get like a towel or something and just do a quick wipe down of the barrel, the inside. Just try and get some of that carbon off. Put a little bit of gun oil on it, just a little tiny bit. All you need is like a little, I just barely put a drop on there. Rub that around and put it away. So you do not need to clean your gun after every time of shooting. Make sure you keep it clean and well lubricated, and it's going to work for you. Once you've shot, you know, a couple hundred rounds, then yes, you want to take it apart and give it a good cleaning. And maybe I'll do that in another video. If you guys want it, let me know. We'll go over how to disassemble and clean this thing. But for the most part, whenever you're done using it, just wipe it down, give it a couple drops of oil, and put it away, and it's good to go for next time. So next week, I'm probably going to be talking about basic training. I had a lot of people on this channel that are either going in the Army or thinking about going in the Army, so I'm going to talk about some basic training tips next week. I know it's a little shorter, a little different. I just thought it'd be, you know, some people have asked about some pistol rifle fundamentals, so there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If so, subscribe, like. This is military stories, tips, advice, combat stories. Hope you enjoyed it. Take care. God bless.